Well, you know, Elliot, you kind of going down the path of destruction here, but I think you caught it right before it's getting ready to be worse. As you get, you're starting to get that old-fashioned headlight burn.
Oxidation on the headlights, okay? This car is only 3 years old, but because the previous owner just did not care, just like me, you get oxidation on your headlights.
Yeah, and what that does is it clouds up and makes it where your headlights aren't so bright. So there's a quick and simple, easy and
Fast.
Oh, I said quick, but no,
Yeah.
it is a very easy process. Compound, sealant, or you can even use like a Dr. Beasley's has a headlight coating kit where you can actually coat it, just like everybody's coating their cars, they're coating their plastic, they're coating their seats, they're coating everything. You can even coat your headlights. First steps first, as you can see, I taped it off here. Thank you very much. Yes, applause.
Always tape it off, okay?
And why is that there, Frankie?
You don't want to hit the paint.
And why don't we want to hit the paint?
We don't need to.
Alrighty. All right, so now that we have everything safe and protected, so that way if he does, which he probably will, run the buffer up onto the paint, it's not going to do anything with it. So the first things first, let's get out. See that? When you shake, you go.
That's not a thing.
All right, well, it is to me. What we're using here is Wolfgang Uber compound, which is a heavy cut compound because we want to get in there and take it off, because if this doesn't do it, then we're going to have to resort to a little bit more of cutting, which would mean using some sandpaper, which you can do. We have many kits that we have. Sonex has one, Meguiar's has one, Mother's has one, I think Wolfgang, I think we all have a kit that has some sort of sandpaper in it. But this, we're going to try the least aggressive approach as we possibly can. And also, I don't feel like dragging out a bucket full of water and sandpaper. So, which actually, it doesn't matter to me. You're doing all the work. So
That's right.
All right,
So,
first off, let's go.
let's turn this baby on.
All right, what is your setting at?
I'm at a 3 right now, okay? You want to go a little bit low and then crank it up.
Oh, wow, you got kind of a hard edge right there.
Yeah, so that's another thing with headlights. They're all different shapes and forms for stylistic features as opposed to the old headlights where they're just
Well, those are just glass.
yeah, it was just glass and a circle and that was it. Here, I got a nice flat area right here and I have a flat sort of area right here. So I'm gonna break it down into 2 sections. Most of the oxidation is up here, but you want it
that's
to
where
be
the
uniform,
sun's hitting it at all the time.
right? But you still want to be uniform.
All right, here we go.
If I knew how to turn it on.
Are you new to do you need me to do it?
Please.
See, he's used to doing everything by hand, I think. So when I do let him have a polisher, he doesn't know what to do. And basically, it's just like polishing paint. Just you're going to go over the area, crisscross, back and forth action over the top of it. Then in the areas that have the heavy buildup and I call it headlight burn, you're just going to spend a little bit more time on those areas. Ooh. Look at you. Then you get up close, you notice how he's getting it up on an edge, so that way he can get right up next to the hood.
And while you're doing this, you still want to maintain pad rotation. It's a little difficult, and it's okay if you stop it just a little bit, but you want to maintain that speed.
And that's where marking your backing plates come into play.
Yep, I'm always able to tell what my backing plate is doing. Right now, it's stopping because it's a curved handle. It's going to happen. But if I just let loose a little bit and angle it the right way, you'll be able to see it spin again.
All right, leave that back half so that way. Actually, no, leave that back half so we can show before and after as soon as we're done.
By the way, I'm not left-handed, so that was extremely difficult for me.
All right, wipe, wipe.
And this is why we're uncensored, because we don't want to give you the highly produced stuff, right? We want to show you raw, unfiltered content.
Yeah, and as you can see, he's just got a little bit more that he's got to do right up here, then right down here, and it looks like he's got a critter that's still living there. Well, maybe not living, but well, actually, that is actually now etched into the plastic. So that's what bugs will do. They will actually eat into paint and plastic and so forth.
Yeah, so therefore, because I couldn't remove this with a clay bar or anything else and compound up here, it was fine. Maybe in this lower area, I might have to resort to wet sanding just because that bug is etched in there.
Well, I think you could probably come back in.
I might just hammer out the window and replace it, or the
headlight.
headlight.
I was gonna say, man, that's one heck of a window. So basically, as you can see, before, after, he's got a little bit of area right up here that he still needs to do. Then what do you call it? That little bug. So what we'll do is we're gonna let him kind of do that, because you don't want to just coat half of your headlight. So go ahead,
Maybe.
put a little bit more on. We'll knock that out real quick, or do you want me to knock it out? No, you knock it out.
I'll knock it out. We all know I'm gonna knock it out.
Yep. And it just takes a little bit. Now that his pad's all primed, you just need a little bit more product on there. Then, especially since he's only doing such a
little bit.
A little bit. He does not know the definition of little bit.
Okay, so we'll put a lot of it on there.
Yeah, that's a little bit is a lot of bit for him.
Yeah, so we'll spread it out a little bit more. This might be a little bit too much on there, but...
Yeah, and don't forget to turn your speed down so you don't sling it all over.
Thanks, Yance.
See, he's used to doing
It's
stuff
good
by
with
hand.
a partner. It's also good when you're using your dominant hand.
All right, now you can probably kick it up. We're timing him to see how fast it takes.
And because this is such a weird curve, I'm going to go passes this way and then go up with it.
That'll work. And it's kind of cool sitting here watching this when you're doing it, is you can actually see it go from that milky color straight up into where it's, you know, you can actually see the insides again. You can see all the intricacies of the light on the inside. So that's how I gauge how clear it is by how much I can see into that light. And I've brought some headlights back that people are like, oh no, I just need to replace it. Nope, brought it all back. You got a little bit right up there.
Yeah. You can immediately see the results right now. Luckily, we tackled this before we needed to wet sand it.
Well, that's the nice thing about it, is if you're noticing what's going on with your car and you turn around and you start doing the stuff that you see before it gets really, really bad, you're saving yourself time in the long run, and plus you're keeping up the maintenance of your car, so that way your parts and everything last longer, which is the key when you're doing any type of car detailing, car maintenance, what else would it be? Not maintenance, but preventive care. There you go. And it makes it where the things last longer. And plus, then it's what, this is maybe a few bucks. This is a few bucks. I guarantee you that headlight is more than a few bucks. This is probably a couple $100 of, you know, at least $150 to replace just this headlight. So wouldn't it be a lot more cost effective to have buy some compound? Oh man, what is on that? Buy some compound and a pad, and you're in it for $30. Okay, so the next best thing.
Another thing I would like to mention, because I did put a little bit too much product on my pad up here, you can see a little bit of dusting from the pad. Okay, so
that's because you did
unfortunately
a lot of
I
it.
put too much on there, which is not good, which we can now show you why it's bad to put too much product on there. Did I bring a yellow pad?
No. All right, well, he does that. I'm gonna go grab a yellow pad.
We'll clean that later.
The nice thing about chairs with wheels, you can wheel them all over the place.
That's
All
right.
right, there's your pad.
Can I get that rag real quick? So, before I seal anything, I want to make sure the area around it is clean. Perfectly.
And you can see how the tape saved him. Oh, Elliot.
I'm no expert, but
All right, just like any time, whenever you're using a product that's been sitting for a little while, this was on our shelf in the back. Always shake it up so that way it mixes everything back up.
shake it up.
Shake it up. All right, there you go. One pad. And this little bit.
I actually listened.
You listened for once. All right. And
I always bring it to the top, okay? Because you don't need the whole pad to do it, because you want some room for your hand, okay? And all you gotta do, you don't have to do circles. You don't have to do anything extreme.
just that way you get it all covered. That's basically it.
Couple passes in here.
You're gonna coat in that bug.
I'm gonna seal that bug right in because we were friends.
We were friends once
Okay.
until I ran him over at 90 miles an hour.
About 2 months worth. Okay.
Like I said, we're just showing you the techniques. But as you can see before I'm gonna flip up the before and after footage. Here, I'll trade you. Before and after footage, it took us maybe 5 minutes to do this, and the headlight is back to new, except for the implanted bug.
Except for old Jiminy Cricket.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Poor Disney fans. And honestly, because we did this, and you won't be able to tell from me wiping it off, but because I was wiping off and we compounded and sealed it, it feels a lot smoother. Okay, so I know it's protected.
Well, they don't
I
have
know it's
feel-o-vision?
clean. Feel-o-vision, you know? I can feel it.
Ooh.
No, but it is nice and slick, and it feels like a headlight should.
And then, just with maintenance, when you're washing your car, maybe like every month or so, throw some more of this on there. The longer you have this protected, the slower that the digger, that it's going to start clouding up on you again. And if it does, then just break out the compound, here's the pad and polisher down there, and you're good to go.
Yeah, this will last up to 6 months, so you can use it whenever you need to. If it's a daily driver, it sits out in the sun like my car does, you might want to do it just a little bit sooner.
And don't forget, you have coatings that even last longer. Dr. Beasley's has a really nice coating for that.
Shout out to the doctor.
Doctor! No,
That's it. I got one more headlight to do.
Well, he has one more headlight to do because he said that correctly, because I thought he was going to throw me under the bus. So, if you
Not
have
today.
any other questions, comments, concerns, any ideas of things that you want us to shoot, hit us up. Put us down below in the comments, and we'll be glad to shoot that. As for me, I'm going to go back and drink my NOS, kick my feet up, and watch him slave away. So, here. Again, I'm going to load you up. Actually, no, I'm not. I'll be nice.